Hi, and welcome to episode 101 or 99 or whatever of Masters of the Forge. I have Jason.
Hello, Aaron.
I have Snorre.
Oh my god, it's me.
I have Jim Vladik Jr.
Vidlak Jr. And yes, you do.
Vidlak. Whatever.
Close enough, isn't
You know,
it?
people still call me Fazolded. So
Really?
yes. Well, until like 2 weeks ago, I didn't realize that Adon was Tejada. I was always Tejada because J, but
Wow.
that's a different. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's that. That's what you get for just reading people's names instead of actually saying them the
Yes.
entire time you've known them. Oh my goodness, it's so good to have you guys on the show again. I mean, Jim, you've actually been on more recently, more frequently than Snorre in the past couple of months, actually.
Yeah, twice. Go figure.
Past couple of months, I guess that's the nice way of putting that. How long has it been? Almost a year? Over a year?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It's been
crazy.
ages since I've been on last.
Right?
Yeah.
So just in general, I kind of want because a lot of people have been asking about you, Snorre. So what have you been up to? And it doesn't have to be 40K stuff. I'm just interested in your life in general and how you've been and what you've been up to.
Well, I've been doing quite a lot of different things. Trying to turn my life around a little bit. I no longer work for Staples. Hooray. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I don't want to get sued. Because big corporations and all that.
Yeah.
So what kind of luggage are you hiding the bodies in?
I did buy a couple of suitcases at work. Not going to move those in a while. No, never mind. That's just stupid. No, I've been. I quit my job about a month ago, and I'm starting a new job at an engineering company. So complete change of work, and it's going to be exciting. As for wargaming and such, I still do flight sims way too much.
Nice.
Just
Cool.
like on Sunday, I came back from a 3-day event in Germany where we had a lot of us just meet up, go to bars, restaurants, eat good food, drink lots of beer, and hang out and have fun with these flight sim people.
That is awesome, dude. Like actually meeting the people that you play with. It's not like World of Warcraft meetups where people just know each other in the biblical sense. It's more of a friendly get together.
Well, they can do both, right?
Yeah, you're right. Who am I to judge? I'm coming in
Adam?
for a landing.
Adam, I've actually been to a couple of guild meets in World of Warcraft, and it was pretty much the same thing. We just hang out and have fun together. But with the flight sim crew, it's a lot nerdier, trust me. We even went to a technical museum where they have cars and aircraft. We actually got to see the Russian space shuttle, an actual Buran, which was pretty cool. And, lots of planes. So we totally
but those are made of like balsa wood, right? The Russian shuttlecraft.
You'd be surprised how sturdy it is. But of course, it never flew because the Russians ran out of money before they managed to launch it. So
Right.
But yeah, we had fun. On the home front, 8th edition arrived, and I have, I think, 2 games under my belt. Because what did Games Workshop do to Death Guard? They released the Traitor Legion supplement, which was pretty awesome if you play Death Guard. And then comes the Index Chaos, and we just got f***ed again. We're back to pre
407 to 412 there, Jason.
Well, dude, to be fair,
No,
you're getting
feel free.
You're getting a codex next month.
Exactly. So it's like I'm guessing that Games Workshop just shafted us so that they would make sure that they sold enough copies of the new codex. Because
I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm a little confused. Is it because the Terminators and stuff can't be Death Guard?
Yeah. So basically, we found our Death Guard, like our proper Nurgle Terminators, hiding in the closet, and then a couple of months later, they suddenly vanished again. I guess their teleporter started working or something. So yeah.
Well,
anyway.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because I think like it would be pretty confusing to have both Death Guard and what do you call it? I always forget their names. The Zinch guys in the Codex, and then I think they're trying to avoid the situation they had in 7th where you had to buy 80 codexes for your stuff. Which does, but I can see where it'd be frustrating, Snorre. I can definitely see where it'd be frustrating.
But that is the key word. It's frustrating. That it was like, finally I could do a pure Death Guard army that felt like Death Guard, and suddenly it's just taken away from me. So, I'm just
those Plague Marines.
Yeah.
They're
the other
good.
stuff they put in there, I think is just awesome.
Yeah.
But
if that's an indication of what they have coming, I think you're going to be very happy.
Yeah,
and of course, can't wait to see the multi-part Death Guard. Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
And let's not forget Mortarion.
Oh yeah! Did you guys see that video?
Yeah.
they missed opportunity there at the end for the Lord to be like, he's standing right behind me, isn't he? But I guess that would have been jumping the shark a little bit.
Yeah, but to compensate, I got to play something. So while we were waiting for 8th edition to come out, we actually started playing another game. At least some of us at the club started playing another game, which is really cool and completely different. Plays much faster, and it's actually a reasonable game and really fun. And that is
What are you playing, Frostgrave or something?
We're actually playing the modern-day Cold War fictional scenario version of Flames of War. It's called Team Yankee.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it's basically 1985 era tanks and mechanized infantry and lots of death, and things just die all over the place.
Oh, so like Spies Like Us, the miniatures war game.
I think I'm playing Russians, so I'm fielding some 30 tanks like T-72s and maybe 10 BMPs, that's infantry carrying armored vehicles. And on the other side, which are like mine are quite low tech, not highly skilled and such. On the other side, I have maybe 6 German tanks, like Leopard 2s. And they just wreck the crap out of me because, they get to shoot twice as much as me. They are more accurate, higher skill, and all that stuff. So, it evens out that I have the numbers, they have the skills.
Right. So is the entire campaign set in like Afghanistan and like,
Europe,
Kazakhstan
actually?
Europe. Stuff?
It's Europe.
Yeah.
It's based on the Team Yankee book from the 1980s.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like
it's literally
okay.
that setting from the
so it's not
book.
It's
the
not
short
like
story,
historical.
Yeah, the short story is really that they follow the actual timeline of things. And in mid-1985, you had like the Persian Gulf crisis, and the Americans escalate a little bit down there because they don't like to be torpedoed and such in the Gulf there. And the Russians don't really like this, so they kind of say, you know what, we don't feel very safe, so we're going to up our numbers in Europe, along the border and such. Then they threw an actual massive mobilization drill, and that's where the game deviates from actual history, where they say, and then the Russians kind of just suddenly just rolls over the border of Western Germany and just try to plow as far into Europe as possible before the NATO forces can rally and cause a stalemate. That was basically the Russian plan at the time, that we can never win this thing, but we can push as far into the Rhine and hold like strategic amounts of territory. Then hopefully the NATO is just going to cede the rest of Germany, and we're going to get some new territory, and no one's going to fire any nukes. And that's basically what you're playing in this game.
Cool.
It's a really fun game, but it's very different from 40K.
They should do an expansion for Jade Helm 15 in the United States. That would be super rad.
What is that?
That would be awesome. It was like this fake conspiracy thing, like of like U.S. mobilization in the southern states.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, you could probably write some fan rules with this rule set.
Yeah, that would be super fun. Okay, so that sounds awesome. Anything else, dude? Is that basically what you've been up to?
Yeah, change of work, playing Team Yankee, not playing too much 40k, but still just waiting for a new codex to see if I actually get shafted or if I can find this fun again.
I think you're going to be really happy next month, Snorre. I think you're going to be really happy.
Yeah, I think so too. But you're still holding it down, keeping it real, though. That's the important part. Jim, what have you been up to, dude? You know, we didn't have a lot. Everybody had to kind of have their turn to talk and stuff in our last episode. So now you actually have the floor to yourself. What have you been up to the past few years? Jason, 1022 to 1026 there for you, buddy. There's just something about my friend Jim that makes me swear. I don't know what
I don't know what it is either. Holy crap.
Yeah,
I had that one outburst.
On this one.
Jim,
you make me feel outburst on the first show. And holy
Jim,
crap, dude.
Do I need to remind you of a certain eagle cannon?
I think it's just. I feel like I can be free in front of you. That's all
I think that's probably it.
That's what it is.
Just keep your clothes on, please.
Anyways,
what have you
been
can't
up to,
see
dude?
me. I'm in my underwear. It's okay.
No, I was talking about Adam here, not you.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely.
He was being free.
Like,
he's being free. I get you.
No, dude, these things are pendulous. It's warm here. It's like I have a pair of elephant ears hanging between my legs.
Are they drooping off the edge of the chair?
Well, that's why I need to actually have underpants on while we're recording because they need support.
Too funny. Oh my god.
Anyways,
anyway, 8th edition has me fired up. I am finally rebuilding the Soul Reapers, my Chaos Marine.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
The ones that got stolen years ago, and then the blogging community, 40k blogging community, helped me replace everything that I lost, and I just never could get the drive to finish it. You know, not to repaint an army I'd just finished. I just couldn't do it. But now I'm fired up. Now I'm painting like a madman.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Yeah, the Chaos book is. We did a little bit of a review last week. I played a game with my buddy John, and we I played the Emperor's Children, and it was. I mean, just that little snippet of that book, just like looking at my specific list, and I was loving it.
Right.
So, true blue old school Chaos players must be pretty happy. I know Justin from ICs is super happy.
Right. Well, you know what this has done finally is this codex has made Chaos Marines the dark mirror of the Imperials. Yeah. Which they've never been. Yes, right. 3.5, the God Codex, apparently, was everybody's big thing because it had these Legionless in it, but they weren't the background. And these, I think, these rules really capture the background. So I am fired up to play Chaos.
That's awesome, dude.
That's
great. That's great.
Yeah, so I'm just painting like a madman. I'm converting things and painting. I'm trying to make all of my models unique since I'm repainting an army I already did.
Nice.
So lots of conversions.
Nice. That's great. For my part, 8th edition has me 40k confused a little bit. I'm not sure what I'm doing with my life. Because right after I finished the Seraphon, I'm like, okay, I am ready. I have no orc projects behind front of me. I have no Space Marine projects. I have nothing. I'm going to finally start that Emperor's Children project that I have always wanted to do. A viciously agonizing army to look at,
It's agonizing.
It's going to be awesome. So what do I do? For some reason, I have 1,500 points of Space Marines to paint and 3 boxes of orcs looking at me. And I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happened.
Jeez.
I don't know what I did.
So basically, you just walked past a GW store and accidentally just stumbled in the doors, accidentally lost your credit card on the counter, and just rolled around the shop a few times, and kind of just things stuck to you. And by the time you came out again, you were poor and had a lot of plastic.
Either that or he got water on them and they started popping.
That's true. They are fungus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I talked about the orcs, and that thing just happened, and I had some Sisters of Battle sitting there, and I'm like, I have no desire to paint these at all. So I decided to trade them away, and I'm like, well, if I'm trading these away, I might as well get rid of the painted ones too, because I had no desire to play them either. I mean, I like the idea of them. I just, So I kind of want to focus a little bit. I want better focus 40K wise. So I put them up on Barter Bucket Barter Bucket, and I was like, okay, I'll trade for Chaos Space Marine stuff or Primaris Marine stuff, because I already had that that starter set that GW sent us, and I had that all painted up. I might as well add to it. And Adon Tejada messaged me. He's like, dude, I'll hook you up with, I have an entire set of Primaris from the starter already built and primed. I'm like, now you're speaking my language. And he's like, I'll also send you like some other stuff too. I'm like, yeah, how about a repulsor? He's like, okay. So now I have 2 repulsors to paint.
Oh dear Lord.
The whole starter. And he's like, oh, you know what? You sent me way too much stuff. I am not going to let you get away with that. Let me send you something else. So I also have a unit of aggressors on the way.
Nice.
To paint for that. Yeah, those are super rad. It's just a curse of riches over here. It's a curse of riches, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I may sell those orcs though, because I'll like put them in a box and hide them somewhere. It's hard to get rid of just boys, because you never know when you might need those bits. But I think I might just put them in a box and like put red tape on it or caution tape on it and say do not open unless an emergency or something. I don't know.
Too funny.
But so yeah, I'm gonna hold off on the Space Marines a little bit. Reese from Frontline sent me some of his orc terrain, which we're going to use for our upcoming tournaments and stuff.
Cool.
And I want to get those painted up, and because I promised him I'd do some blog posts, and I'll probably produce a Altar of War episode using the terrain or something, because he sent them to me for nothing just to promote it. So I might as well at least do that and get that done, because he sent it to me like a month ago. So I better pony up and and actually fulfill that promise. So I think that'll be my next project before I really get into the Primaris Marines. Jason, what the heck have you been up to, dude?
Well, I traveled up to San Antonio to get out of town and go see family.
Nice.
And hung out at the GW store up there, which was a lot of fun. I didn't get a game in, but people who are into the hobby for, the hobby also, like the painting and the converting and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. Let's see, I finished paying the Redemptor. I finished paying that Sikaran Punisher.
Nice.
Blood Raven Captain. That was the Thousand Sun Forge World Kit Bash. I need to add more stuff like honor markings, campaign badges, blah blah blah. But
right.
Let's see, scouts. Okay, so I got the Shadow War Armageddon box, but I never built the dudes in there, and it's like, well, I might as well. So I built the scouts. Raven Guard, they're mostly finished, but they need some more details. Some more stuff, but I'll talk about those more when I start painting them. Oh, I also built 40 bases yesterday and today. Sometimes hate myself with that.
So Jason has a very complicated basing for his.
I hate myself, man. One Mortalis basing scheme, and it has multiple levels, and it's got all sorts of stuff in there. And
I've seen it. Very intricate. A lot of work in.
Yeah, well, I kind of hate myself. I'm just like, I gotta build how many? Like, I've got a Prospero box unopened because I was like, I don't feel like building bases. I don't want to build a base at all. So, a bunch of those last night. So I'll be doing more stuff. This past weekend, Aaron Dembski-Bowden's Black Legion was released, right? That's where everybody could get it. Somehow, gave me the copy the day that it went on pre-order. Like, I had it a week ahead of, well, at least ahead of Carl.
Oh. Whoa.
I'm not sure he was real happy about. Sorry, Carl. I finished it already, which I'm sure is going to make some people unhappy. I won't spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil anything. No. I will say that my favorite quote-unquote Legion... Now, who could that be?
Wait, you cut out. I didn't hear that.
My favorite quote-unquote Legion...
Uh-huh. I think he's doing that on purpose.
He is.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
You fell for it too. Hook, line, and sinker.
I did. He's like, I'm going to put a beep in here and you're going to get it. You're going to understand what I'm doing. And I'm like, durr. I don't know what you're doing. Durr.
Man, I've got to get that book.
It's really good. If you're a Black Legion player, man, it is awesome. I mean,
nice.
It's those books were just like, crap. Now I finished reading that, I gotta go build someone. It was like, well, maybe Abaddon's kind of cool after all. I don't know.
I've always thought Abaddon was cool, so I've never been a failed Abaddon fan.
All right.
Yeah. You think it's just like working retail. Oh, you think you're so smart? Why don't you do this?
Yeah. Exactly.
My thing was always I've always liked the Thousand Suns more than anything else. So let's see. One last thing. I need to give a shout out to Anvil Industry. Their stuff, well, not a bunch, a bit of their stuff a few weeks ago, and the wrong legs were sent to me, and I said, hey, dude, what can we do? And they sent me another set of legs out, so I'm pretty happy about that. Very little flash on them,
They are a good company.
Yep.
Anvil and not Chromic. Chromic is good, but Anvil and what's the other Polish one?
I don't know. I'm just going to throw Spellcrow out there.
Spellcrow.
Yeah, Spellcrow. Like, they'll send you extra bits and they'll just throw in like miscasts for you. Yeah. I mean, my buddy Pat orders from them all the time and he's always getting extra stuff. And a lot of it's Nurgle, so it doesn't matter.
Really.
So.
There's one thing you forgot, Adam. You picked up a book.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. It's so beautiful. Okay, this is the first Black Horse Heresy book I've ever owned.
Yeah.
And like it's like buying the expensive Bible. Like, it is huge. I had no idea how massive these books are. Like you need to be benching. Like, you can't skip arm day to read these books. They are unreal, so I'm really excited about that. We're definitely gonna harness these purchases for a few episodes.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Adam,
so thanks a lot, dude.
Is this a good time to say, do you even read, bro?
Right. Exactly. So, all right, that's cool, dude. We have a few things some business to take care of. Table War has new 3x3 fat mats out. I'm not sure what, like, they have the space mat and they have I think it's Grassy Plains. Like, go check it out on their website. I'm not sure what games Snorre is your game played on a 3x6?
Me, you mean?
Yeah.
No, you can play it on whatever table you want, but 4x6 is the most common.
4x6. There must be some games out there that are 3x6 that they're using these mats for. So if you have a game that uses that, check that out. And Geek Nation Tours also has a promotion that they'd like us to pimp. They're doing obviously they're doing Adepticon again, and they're also doing another Great Britain trip next year. So please go to Geek Nation Tours and check those out. They're really good people. I've been on a couple tours, and it's absolutely worth the money, especially if your friends don't want to go anywhere and you wanna go to a convention or something and want instant friends. Geek Nation Tours is the way to go. So all right, I guess that's it for our intro. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back, and you're gonna hear an interview between us and Pablo about the Las Vegas Open, and then we're gonna come back, and we're gonna have a quick retrospective on Masters of the Forge. We'll be right back. Greetings, mofos.
Are you out of George Dickel number 8, staring at a broken chess machine?
Don't want to spend the rest of the year tied to that couch?
Well, why don't you head on over to the 1 Hour a Night Facebook page and see what exciting stuff is going on there. It's a place to post all your daily progress in the hobby grind, as well as receive and give positive feedback. Also, there are usually a few interesting challenges going on.
That's right. All you have to do is search for 1 Hour a Night on Facebook. That's numeral 1 Hour a Night, all one word. Blood serum tests will be administered prior to approval.
Se til helvete og kom dere vekk. Det ikke en bikkje, det en slags ting. Den imiterer en bikkje, men det ikke det. Kom dere vekk, idioter!
What he said.
Hey, Masters of the Forge listeners, are you looking to expand your Warhammer 40,000 gaming group?
Do you want to start a 40k club in your area?
Do you want the people you attract to be like-minded mofos?
Do you want to advertise your YouTube channel?
Or even attract more subscribers to your hobby blog or online community?
Then what better way than to advertise on the Masters of the Forge podcast?
All we ask of you is that you email us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com or message us on Facebook with a full text of your advertisement, including the region in which you live and any contact information people can use to get a hold of you.
We will have one of our many tech servitors read your advertisement on the air. We promise not to make fun of you.
Though we can't always predict the actions of our servitors, you really can't find good help these days.
No, you can't. All right, welcome back, everyone. We have a special segment here for you to start the show off with, and we have Pablo from Frontline Gaming on to talk about the Las Vegas Open 2018. Well, Pablo, it's great to have you on. Thanks for coming.
No problem. Thanks for having me on. I love Masters of the Forge.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we love your shows. I think it's really cool that Frontline Gaming has started doing kind of it's like splitting the show up into topical podcasts. So you have the Ninth Realm, right? For
Yes.
Age of Sigmar.
Yes.
And what's yours called again? I keep forgetting.
That's okay. It's we've got Chapter Tactics, the Ninth Realm, and Signals from the Frontline.
Yep.
Yeah, in our podcast network.
Cool.
And that's just been from popular demand. I know you guys get away with recording once a month and put out these great, not once a month, like is it
once a week?
Well, we were once a week. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back to like once every 2 weeks though, because
that's every 2 weeks. Okay, I know you guys do. You guys don't come out often enough.
Right.
That's all. I always remember that. I wish you guys recorded like every 3 days.
Thanks.
So
yeah, talk to my boss about that.
That's great. So yeah, well, yeah, I love the splitting up of topics. It breaks it down and lets you get into a little bit more detail about each topic, and and you still have Signals for the Frontline, which is a great like news. It's basically a 40K news podcast, which is like a real niche. I think most people have just given up on putting the news in front of their podcast because they're always a week late or whatever, where Signals is just like instantaneous. You got your news right when you need it. And Chapter Tactics has been instrumental in kind of keeping me informed about everything that's going on competitively, which is a huge help because I just don't have time to be reading all the freaking articles on bowls or kittens or whatever, you know?
I understand.
So great. Well, why don't we first, let's take care of business first. When is the Las Vegas Open this year? Because I know that the dates have changed.
Yeah, so in previous years, the last 3 years actually, it's been on the Super Bowl, which has been a point of contention because a lot of nerds also like their football, which is completely understandable. This year it's on January 26th through the 28th, so it's a little bit earlier than it normally is. So for those of you who plan for it in February, early February, it's now in late January. So plan for that. And it's going to be bigger and better than ever.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's hard to believe because it's already huge, right? Like, it's already massive, and there's lots of content for everybody because the LVO isn't just a massive, awesome, fun, competitive tournament for Warhammer 40,000 and Age of Sigmar. There are a lot of things going on. There's there's what do you call it? 30K Horus Heresy stuff, and there's as always a huge narrative event, right?
Yes, actually, what's funny this year about the narrative event is it sold out faster than it ever sold out before previously, and we actually have someone different running it this year, and I was actually part of his narrative campaign. It was I don't want to give away any spoilers or anything because I think he's going to go back to it, but it was an amazing campaign. Telian got drop kicked off of a bastion by an orc war boss. Yeah, it was great. Angrath was summoned in like a big APOC battle. But Inquisitor, I brought back Inquisitor Valeria. She had some fun times. It was a great campaign. He ran it here locally, and it was the first campaign I'd ever actually seen to completion. Right, like I've been a part of a couple of narrative campaigns previously in the past, and they've always been kind of like my sweet tooth or like my little go-to for when I want to play 40K, but I really don't want to play 40K. You know, so I just like narrative. I really love narrative campaigns. They're just a lot of fun. But Justin Strauss, the guy who's going to be running this year's narrative campaign, he's an intelligent guy, and I have no doubt that it's going to be bigger, better than ever.
That's awesome. That is so great to hear. So yeah, it's especially great to hear of the return of Inquisitor Valeria because I'm gonna tell you what. So there's a certain hypocritical Inquisitor out there who needs the taste slapped out of her mouth by Inquisitor Valeria. I'm just saying, Inquisitor. Yeah, I'm a little salty.
Still having problems with Greyfax. A wee bit.
Oh, I hate Greyfax so much. I if you read the Gathering Storm books, I think it was either in the first one or the third one when Greyfax essentially hints at the fact that she killed Valeria, and like Trays in the Infinite says something like, well, I got rid of your human rival for you or something like that, and Greyfax is like, well, I could have done it myself, and I was just like, oh, you, because I knew exactly who she was talking about. Excuse my language, I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
I get heated about this. Because Valeria is my girl. She was my favorite like model, just like she didn't have a model obviously, but she was my favorite rules wise model, like in terms of from a fluff perspective, because she was like this artifacts and she had all these cool artifact collections and she just sounded really cool. Then I read some of her fluff and I was like, okay, she's pretty cool. And then they discontinued it out of the new Grey Knights Codex, or the old Grey Knights Codex, the 5th edition Codex. And I was kind of bummed by that. So, you know, just happy to I have an Inquisitor, a Inquisitor Valeria model that I kit bashed and made myself. It's real cool looking.
Nice.
But yeah,
that's great. And
narrative
about that date real quick, you know, it's funny because this year I was for the Golden Sprue Cup, which is the GT that we run. I'm like, you know what, we need to switch this up. We need to move it back a little bit to Martin Luther King weekend because a lot more people can make it. And actually our exit poll from last year, one of the questions was, would it be easier if GT were held on that weekend, and like 90% of the respondents said yes. So fortunately for us, we also moved back our GT. So that'll be
Nice.
fantastic. So we'll do that. So this is great. I'm really excited about the narrative possibilities at the Las Vegas Open. Plus, everybody who I've spoken to who's gone has said it's well worth your time and effort to go. It sounds like a blast, and tickets to like airfare to Las Vegas is not all that expensive, no matter where you are, really.
No,
Yeah.
Vegas does a really good job of pulling strings to get people to come to their city and spend money.
Right?
So-
The mob.
They definitely break knees down there.
Fantastic.
Break kneecaps.
That's awesome. So we'll go back to that again. We'll revisit that at the end of this segment. What I want to do right now, that I have you kind of shackled to your microphone, actually, is get your advice, because I have a tournament coming up this weekend. And I kind of feel like, okay, I've been bringing my orcs to this tournament. It's at the Portal in Connecticut, in Manchester, Connecticut, and there's a bunch of guys up there. I'm not gonna name names, but one of them is has won the LVO before with his Eldar, and the other one has,
you're talking about Fennel,
and
Sean Naden.
someone else with pink Necrons.
There's a lot of really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good players in Connecticut. I think Ben Moley moved to Boston, so he might go there too. And Ben Moley, if you don't know, is a team Captain America. He took the ETC American team the farthest it's ever been. Ben Moley's widely regarded as an amazing 40K player.
Right.
So he might be there too. I'm not sure how close Massachusetts is to Connecticut, but
No, it's
Well,
pretty close.
I imagine they're driving distance away.
Long story short, I ain't winning the tournament, but I want to make a good showing. All right. After going there for a couple of years and bringing my orcs and winning best painted a couple times, which, okay, great. I actually want to kill some models. All right. So can you help me do that, Pablo? Can you help me try to kill some models?
So competitive orc list ideas off of Matt Root from he's of course the ITC champion. He loves orcs. He won last year. That he won with Admech, but he's been trying to get back into his orc army. So I feel like he's one of the guys to talk to, especially because he's going to be running orcs at ETC.
Nice.
Now his list is not a list I would suggest running it. So if you're already Google searching ETC Matt Root list, that list is not going to win you very many games because it's geared towards winning a very specific matchup.
Oh, the ATC,
as a basis.
Okay, we're putting you against these people. You need this list.
Right.
Team
championship mentality, play for the team, not for the win.
Right.
But three things going for them that I think are extremely good in this particular meta. The first thing is they've got the best counter horde army. I know it doesn't sound sexy, it doesn't sound pretty, but not a lot can kill 200 boys with the 5++ invuln and the 6 up feel no pain.
Yeah.
Not almost nothing, but can absolutely demolish other horde armies like conscript spam, brimstone spam, razorwing flame. Rest in peace, razorwings. Not really rest in peace. Rest in hate. I guess.
Well, I think you're right, Pablo, because what we're looking at is not just conscript spam from just conscripts, but I'm sure our narrative 40K listeners are gonna love this conversation. By the way, whatever, it's my show. I'll do what I want. I'm grown. Anyways, we're talking about also a lot of very swaggering flyer spam players out there right now going, well, they didn't really solve the problem. I'll just take 100 conscripts. I'm like, yeah, I have 180 boys, so good luck with that.
Right. Yeah, your bolter, hurricane bolters are really good at killing orcs. Even with the 5++ and the 6 up feel no pain.
Yeah.
But even for you narrative players out there who might have experienced the So we'll call it the 6th edition blues for orc players, or I guess I can say that because the orcs didn't have a very good 6th and 7th edition. But even just running like 100 or 50 boys, like not even spamming them, just narratively running like 50 boys and then using dead jump to teleport them forward. Mm-hmm. You can even compete against Stormraven spam armies now that they're new nerf. Mm-hmm. So you just need to kill their ground units. So you have something that you can target and kill, which is their ground units. You can get them with the jump, with the weird boys move, and then you win because the Stormravens are all that's left. You could just flat out ignore them.
Yeah.
Right. And that's that would be with a more casual, quote unquote casual / fluffy orc army, right? So you could run like your Gorkanaut, some trucks, some big mob of boys to teleport maybe 2 weird boys so one doesn't die right away to snipers or whatever have you. It's just they have a lot of tools that they need to be able to deal with the competitive lists, and they can still stay fluffy, which is actually really cool. Which is why, like, if you watch our battle reports, Reese does a really good job of making lists that are both fluffy and realistic, because he is a hardcore fluff player. Like he does Tyranids or Chaos Demons, Flyrants, and Demons is like we saw it, right? Mm-hmm. So he likes staying true to the fluff in his builds while also building competitive. So that would probably be a good place to start.
Well, why don't I?
Boys are really good.
Oh, sorry, dude. I didn't mean to talk over you. I was gonna suggest.
That's fine.
Why don't I give you my idea of the list I have, and you can critique it? How's that sound?
That sounds great. I do that all the time. So
all right, cool.
That's what I was.
It's like I'm
supposed to do. Let me just get ready here.
It's like I'm jumping ahead of everybody who's in line to have their list critiqued on your show. I'm feeling really privileged right now. All right, cool. First of all, we have a battalion for 3 CP. Awesome. 2 weird boys with the jump because I always murder myself. Because +6 to the roll. Then there are 4 troops choices. There are 3 units of 30 boys with shooters because conscripts hate shooters so much.
They do. You're right. 100% true.
There are 3 big shooters in each of those squads and a power claw because why not do something while you're sitting on the other side of the table waiting for your turn to get to jump. Then I have 1 unit of 30 Choppa boys because I need counter assault. Then I have a Vanguard detachment with 2 units of 15 commandos, each with a power claw and Burnas because there's 0 points for some reason. The third elite's choice is a runt herd for good reason. We'll get to that in a second. And Snickrot, because nothing says I love you like a single 40mm base sitting in, just suddenly appearing in your backfield and saying, "Come get me! I have line breaker."
Doesn't he also have like +3 to his save or something like that in cover?
Yes,
something silly like that.
He has +3 to his save and cover, and if I feel like risking him, he gives rerolls for the boys to hit. I believe for the commandos.
For the commandos, yeah.
Yeah, so he's pretty cool for all kinds of different reasons. He's kind of like a really shitty assassin. So there's that. Then the rest of the list is a spearhead detachment with the 3rd weird boy with Warpath and 11 mech guns with custom mega cannons.
Oh, that's gnarly.
So I'm feeling like this is either terrible or great. It might be Terra great.
Right. Well, it's actually reminiscent of the list I'm trying to build right now with Space Marines.
Uh-huh.
I have the artillery in the back with the Gilliman as counter assault, kind of like I've got that deal. I don't have the bodies you have, which is something I wish I could have. And I don't really want to bring myself to bring like 200 conscripts. So I've got a little bit different of a bubble line, which I'm keeping secret.
Yes, no problem.
But I really like that. Can commandos deep strike or do they infiltrate? I always forget that.
They It's basically deep striking. They come within 9 inches and may do all the things. And I would usually, it depends on the list, but I often hold them off till turn 3 because they just have that 6-up save, and I guess it's 4-up in cover, but still, it's like I kind of want them to have line breaker and really mess stuff up. If my opponent overcommits to like my lines, I want them in their back lines, killing whatever's left back there.
That's actually the thing about those deep striking units, especially the assault-oriented ones like assassins, even like regular scouts, like with bolt pistol close combat weapon, Snickrot. There's one particular unit that was really good at it. I think not Storm Boys. I forget. Anyways, there's one unit that was like the best at it that I forgot what faction it was. Anyways, the point is that assault-oriented deep striking units is when combined with a gun line, you can start forcing your opponent on one side of their line essentially, right? So if they start advancing forward, and then you can start sniping characters out, which is really what I think the ultimate goal is of most armies, is the ability to snipe out your opponent's important characters. So if you can do that and get line breaker with your commandos or whatever commandos are left, that's a win.
Yeah,
for you every time.
All right, cool. I'm feeling. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, combined with the mech guns and the boys running at them, I just see a lot of ways to outplay your opponent with your list, which I really like.
All right, cool. I'm glad, and I'm definitely, if I'm not trying to carpet the battlefield and destroy flyers just by the nature of them not having real estate. I am bringing movement trays for all the orc units just for speed's sake. And even the mech guns, like at least half the mech guns are going to have movement trays as well. So I can put the mech gun and the 5 grot gunners on the tray and just drop them on the battlefield.
Right. And the other thing about mech guns that I really like is when they lose the gun, the grots still can't be shot at unless they're the closest visible model.
Yeah.
So if you have like 100 orc boys in your opponent's face, those orcs are always going to be the closest visible model, no matter what, right? You just throw them in line of sight, throw them in the shooting ranges, and then just your grots can score objectives. They just laugh at your opponent because your opponent sees the grot but can't shoot at them because they can't be shot at.
And I am not.
It's pretty dirty.
I am not beneath teleporting 5 grots across the table onto an objective. I will do it.
So funny.
I think you need to get more grots, preferably these second edition ones.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so.
I think that'd be
the runt herd buffs the grots morale, right?
He does it when they fail a morale check. He does a D3 damage, which is pretty good. A lot of the time the grots are going to be dead anyways, but if he's there, that's just those guys living a little bit longer. Plus he's a 22-point elite's choice. So, he kind of fills that slot.
Yeah. So in terms of your list, in terms of for like slight optimization, don't want to stray too far away from the core of your list, but I would say if you cut the runt herd, and the big shooters and maybe a power claw or two, and add in a 3rd unit of commandos, I think you can do all that. I think that's reasonable. I think that would serve you a little better.
Okay.
Maybe a little more synergy there. Just because I get that the big shooters being able to shoot and apply that pressure as you're advancing forward, like that's cool. But what is that? 19, 27 big shooter shots. Am I right?
Right.
So it's 3 big shooters each, right?
Right. So
right. Even with 27 big shooter shots,
I'm only hitting with 3,
9,
wounding with 2.
And then, right, like you're not gonna you'll be able to kill like 5 or 6 scripts, which is it's okay. Optimal. So I would say probably take another unit of commandos because they're fun, or just take a unit you really like. Like if there's a model or a unit that you want to bring it because it's fun. I'm always a fan of optimizing other parts of your army to make room for something you really want to run.
something more fun, right?
So if you,
right, I get
right. So that would be just what I change. But I like the list. I love mech guns. I think they're cool.
Oh, I love them. I've gotten really, like, I've had a lot of good success with them, especially the custom mega cannon, because the cannon itself has 6 wounds. So if I'm rolling gets hot, it's not that big a deal, to be perfectly honest. It's
it's not a big deal at all.
It's usually fun.
Yeah, so I like it.
All right, cool. Well, maybe I'll give that a try. I think you're probably right, because that runt herder is probably only going to help like 3 units of the artillery guys, and to be honest, even if one unit even if a bunch of units of those die, it only takes one like crewman to man a gun, so it's not like they're precious,
right?
Like they're precious units or anything. So
right, and if you start losing grot, like if the two reasons you would have runt herds, like if you start losing grots to shooting, problem in and of itself, that means that you're surrounded, and like that shouldn't happen. You should never be losing the grots to shooting. And if you're losing grots to assault, I think you've already lost the game.
Right. Okay. All right.
Like that'd be rough. But yeah, I think that's probably the best thing there.
Cool. I think I'm going to give this list a try. I think it'll be fun. I have been playtesting with a totally different list, but right before a tournament, you have to just change everything you're thinking right before the tournament, right? Like that's how everybody does it, right?
Yeah. I think there's something to be said about being mindful of who's going to be at the tournament, which is obviously what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is good, smart. But just make sure just to have a good time. It sounds like you have a competitive list. And just go out there and roll some dice and have a good time.
Absolutely, that's
really what it's all about.
That's what I'll do. And I'll tell you what else is great for rolling dice and having a good time. The Las Vegas Open.
Absolutely.
Boom!
Oh, nice.
Boom! Wow.
That transition, seamless.
Oh my God. It's like I'm a pro at this or something. So once again, Pablo, if you could make sure everybody knows when, where, and how, all right? Give us the website and the whole 9 yards.
All right. So if you're interested in attending the Las Vegas Open or you have questions, head on over to the LasVegasOpen.net. Where you can sign up for all of our events. A couple of them are sold out, so probably wouldn't too much. It's on January 26th to the 28th. 3 days, a lot of fun, beautiful Las Vegas at the Bally's Casino. Events, you can just pay for a con badge and then just show up and enjoy the con. There's a lot of things to do. We have multiple sponsors showing up: Privateer Press, Warlord Games, obviously Games Workshop, Cool Mini or Not, Hawk War Games, and then Battle Foam is a major sponsor. They're the official army case producer for the LVO. So if you're looking for a Battle Foam case or just any merchandise that you need for your wargaming needs, you can go. There's always these great deals. And then we're adding so of course the narrative event. There's paint competitions, paint classes. And then Pathfinders there. They run like Pathfinder campaigns. Mm-hmm. It's just something I wanted to do personally, but I had to work the whole time. Yeah, there's a lot of fun there. We had people playing like Magic and X-Wing, and it's just a gaming convention. It's if you've ever been to a gaming convention, it's basically a place where nerds go to tabletop game and have a great time. And if you've been to a gaming convention, then it's exactly like one of those.
That's great. And I assume there will also be tables for open gaming and stuff too.
Yeah, there'll be tables. There'll be open tables. I'm not sure in terms of the space this year how much there was, but there was definitely at least 3 solid rows of tables, which is about 24 tables of open gaming last year.
Oh, that's nice.
Bad. And then last year also the mini wargaming Dave showed up, and when he hung around the open play, a lot of people were like challenging him to games and stuff, so it's kind of funny. So if you want to do that,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
Las Vegas Open.
That's always fun. Like in it, you know, even if you don't make the wait list for your favorite events, I mean, if you're just going to meet with friends, I mean, that's just great. You guys can set up on a couple of tables and, you know, round robin fight each other for all day, drink and have a great time, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're in Las Vegas, you know, so there's plenty of stuff to do other than just the convention, which is one of the main reasons why we wanted it in Las Vegas, or why Reese and Frankie wanted to start it in Las Vegas. So yeah, I mean, if you've never been to Las Vegas, or if you've been to Las Vegas, there's a lot of fun stuff there too as well. So you can. I took my wife mini golfing my very first LVO. You know, my first ever large tournament. I went 0-3 day one. Mm-hmm. In day two, I told my wife, let's go hang out and enjoy Vegas, and we went mini golfing. I took her to a spa. She gambled a little. It was a lot of fun.
Hear that, everybody? Mini golf in January. That's just that. Yeah. That in itself sounds like freaking paradise to me.
Hey man, that's what I have down here.
I know. You can die in a fire. Okay, Pablo, thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate the unsolicited, or the switch it, reverse it, the totally solicited advice on the list. I appreciate that. And good luck with the podcast. You're doing a great job. Really enjoy listening.
Thank you very much for having me. One quick thing before I go. I want to go to the Golden Sprue Cup GT one year and get myself one of those awesome trophies.
Awesome,
I gotta make that happen.
Yeah, sometime. Dude, you got it. You got to come down and hang out with all the guys and stay at a seedy hotel. Well, we have nice hotels, but I think part of the charm is staying at the nearest hotel, which is super seedy, and win yourself a giant golden trophy.
That one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, oh yeah. The giant golden trophy made of sprue. It's going to be great.
All right, dude. It was great talking to you.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Pablo.
Hey, mofos. Are you looking for more Warhammer 40k video content? Well, the Scarred Cast posts regular battle reports as well as tactics and strategy videos. Be sure to check out all the cool hobby content for the avid tabletop wargamer. That's Scarredcast, Skared on YouTube.
Blood Ravens Chapter is a Facebook group set up and run by passionate fans of the mysterious Space Marine chapter. They have weekly features, regular competitions, and an encouraging community ethos designed to let people get the most from their hobby. Search for Blood Ravens Chapter Plus on Facebook using the plus symbol if you're a fan or collector of these heroes of the Imperium. Knowledge is power. Guard it well.
I just want to invite you to Frayed Paintbrush Hobby Progress Facebook group. It is a positive group set up to motivate us to hobby and then share it with all the other members. At the beginning of the month, post up your monthly challenge on the page, and then at the end of the month, you post the completed work for all to see. No pressure, just fun among friends. Once again, that's Frayed, Frayed Paintbrush. Hope to see you there.
Welcome back.
Whoa!
Welcome back. So, Jim and Snorre, I would love it if you guys could kind of recount the earliest kind of year, or like the earliest inklings of the Masters of the Forge as a podcast. I know.
Should we just start by saying back in the day, we just had an implosion of implosions that was pretty epic on the previous podcast, and let's just leave that alone. And
This is for sure.
Oh yeah. It's really sad that we couldn't have Camille there today, but he was busy because him and his wife, they're moving right now, so yeah, and they couldn't really join.
There was not a day that was good for
him.
Yeah, there was not a day that was good for everyone. And Camille, it's not like Camille was like, screw you guys. He definitely wanted to be here, and he's doing well, and we love you, Camille.
Yeah, so anyways.
He's looking forward to playing 40K again.
Woo! That's awesome.
Yeah, that was actually the bombshell of that conversation. Like, what? You're back in 40K?
He's doing historicals though. I think he does Southern States. He
does doing Civil War. He's been doing a lot of Civil War.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so the implosion was a fact, and the Camille, Jim, and I, we had something really good going, and we kind of want to keep it going. Yeah. But we had to come up with some new concept because we didn't just want to continue the old thing. No,
that had to be offered up to the gods as tribute.
Yeah, that had to go away.
That had to be burned.
Yeah.
Yes.
With promethium.
Yes.
Copious amounts of promethium. Anyways, yeah. So let's see where to go from there. We pretty much had a concept going as for content, but we spent a lot of time trying to figure out kind of logos, how the feel would be, and a lot of the administrative stuff behind the scenes, so that we have like a clear concept from day one, instead of trying to shape something, because we had months of experience on another podcast. So we kind of knew which pitfalls to avoid and such. And we still managed to screw up the first couple of episodes with this podcast, but we learned.
Yeah, well, we hit the ground running at least.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good start for us. Like, let's do something that was hopefully going to be really exciting. Yeah. But of course, Jim can talk about what happened to him.
Yeah, we decided to take a few months off so we could get things right. And then I got a job in the game industry working for a game company. Mm-hmm. So me talking about 40K all the time was going to be a conflict of interest.
Right.
And also, you couldn't talk about what you were doing in your company because that would also be bad. Right.
So I bowed out before the first episode aired.
Right.
I helped it. We all, as a group, Camille, Snorre, and I, came up with the concepts, the ideas of what we're going to do, and then they ran with it, And I think everybody's done a stellar job with this podcast.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. And then Snorre, I at one point, I think it was late in the year, I asked in general people to help me with the lore for my custom Space Marines chapter, the Star Eagles. And Snorre read the whole thing. I was like, wow, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. That a couple people actually read the entire codex, and it wasn't a small codex. I mean, no. It was a lot of, it actually took effort to read. I really appreciated that. And Snorre actually contacted me and asked me if I wanted to join them on the show. I mean, clearly ignoring all the warning signs on Facebook. Asked me to join the podcast. He's like, yeah, he's not even going to try.
But it's like the other end of that one was that at this point, since Jim was being pulled out to do work, then just like the whole concept that we had been working on, I think by then for almost half a year or so, was suddenly more or less dead in the water again. And
I apologize for that. That sucked so hard.
You had a dream opportunity to get into what you wanted to do. So it would be such a douchebag maneuver if we said, it's like, no, you, we're going to have you on this podcast no matter what you're doing.
Right.
So but we had to do something to try to salvage all the work. And I just, for some reason, just reading through that codex, it was just, this guy actually is on to what we are also wanting to do with the podcast. So, let's just have a talk. And it was supposed to be Jim, Adam, and me talking about this on TeamSpeak or something. It was actually Skype, because I remember I was at a party when this was going to happen, and I was actually walking home during the winter.
Right! Oh my God, I forgot about that!
Yeah, so it was cold outside. I was walking home, and I was trying to keep coverage on my phone so I could keep going with the conversation.
And most of what we heard was,
Yeah. And here we go. Jim, who's not even going to be on the podcast, is actually the one that does most of the conversation. I just try to keep up whenever I can. And turns out there was such a perfect match from more or less from minute number one. That he was like, okay, this is no longer an interview. This is like, we're just having a conversation now because you're already on board.
Yeah. That's cool.
And from there on, it was just having fun, reading some books and just preparing material. And we prepared for the first couple episodes. We wrote some pretty silly, detailed notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
not like now where it's like, yes, do show. That's the one bullet, and I was like, yeah, we'll wing it from there.
Do show, talk some.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, my memory isn't so good, so it's not quite that easy. But it feels very natural now. It certainly does, and even when we kind of over speak each other and stuff, it's still kind of whatever. We take it in stride. Where that first episode, like we flushed that first episode. We threw that away. Like we're like,
that's right. We actually did 2 recordings of that one.
Yep, we were like, time to record again because it was not worth it. Because it was that's one of the 2 episodes we deleted. The other episode was the first Christmas, like the Christmas party episode where we played Cards Against Humanity together.
Oh my god, I was so drunk.
It was a good time, but we threw that episode in the garbage. It was.
I actually thought I had purged that from memory, and now you remind me again.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you guys.
It was so inappropriate. There's no way we could have ever aired that.
No.
Yeah. If for anyone else doing podcast, if you ever have the idea that drunken Cards Against Humanity might make good entertainment, just stop it, okay?
Just stop what you're doing.
It doesn't work.
It'll lose you most of your fans.
Yeah.
So, I really appreciate you guys bringing me on.
Later, I've actually...
And
later, I've actually played what is it called? Joking Hazard, similar card game from the Cyanide and Happiness people. And one of my friends said, "Oh my god, I didn't know I had these friends. You guys are just completely crazy."
That's when you really know who your friends are, is when you play Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, I really appreciate you guys taking me on and putting up with, you guys, and then Jason putting up with me, because I know I can be very type A personality sometimes, so it's very cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I also appreciate that Jason came on board, because I was getting really burnt out on just doing the podcast, helping with the notes a bit, and doing all the editing afterwards. It was just taking up so much time. And instead of quitting the podcast, I managed to convince Adam to convince Jason to do a bit of editing. And, the plan worked out perfectly, because Jason just came in and, started taking over a little bit of my work, and then suddenly I didn't have to show up anymore. And then you managed to trick me back in. Damn you.
Yeah, it worked out really well, because I could tell you were getting a little burnout, and then Jason had the desire to actually participate in he was happy helping with the editing, which was really nice. But I felt out, every couple of weeks I was like, and if you ever want to come on, you've earned the right to come on. Obviously, you spent hours editing for us, and he eventually agreed to start doing the show. And today it's still just the 2 of us most of the time, and so my responsibility is I try to do good notes and spend the hours that it takes to do the research and do the notes and do the on your tabletop content. And his responsibility is still the editing of the show. Now I do, since I'm kind of the recipient of all the free shit, I generally do that. I generally try to do the editing for the Altar of War podcasts, but that's how you can tell those are way worse. but it's only fair. And yeah, so that's kind of our dynamic now. I'm not gonna say we're looking for a third chair because we still have, kind of Snorre out there, and I kind of don't want to be like open call for people because that did not work out well before. So and it's got to be,
and I'm freed up too, Loopy.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
I mean, if you need some help here or there, I mean, even though I'm going to do my own thing, I'd be more than happy to come on and help.
Right, and so I think we have a good step, like with my buddy John and my buddy Pat. We've got a good stable of people who are and I liken it kind of to what the independent characters are doing right now, where they kind of bring in other people every once in a while as a third chair rather than a permanent third chair, based on their kind of idiom within the hobby. So I think that works out fine. The guest expert is always a good way to do it. Yeah, especially since we can't be experts at everything, right?
Yep.
So most of the time we just pull stuff off the internet or pull stuff out of our
Yeah, right. Oh, well, I mean,
that's not how it works.
This kind of show requires a great deal of research, and it's not like we're experts here. And the whole concept, and listeners are probably sick of hearing about it, but the whole concept was everyone else is more of an expert, and I'm kind of the learning as I go type guy, and that's never changed. I'm still always constantly learning about these topics because I haven't been doing this since I was 12, like a lot of other people have. I never.
Hey, I wasn't 12. I was old already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was 17 when Warhammer 40K came out. Rogue Trader.
Well, I didn't ingest any 40K until much later.
I got it my senior year of high school.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I still have high school buddies that I game with, so it's kind of interesting.
That's awesome. That's great.
That is
in fact,
cool.
It's the one thing that still connects us. Whenever they come into town, we play 40K. It's bizarre.
So I think that's what the listeners can expect going forward is kind of more of the same. We tried the whole weekly thing. That was cool, and made it easier for listeners to just sit and listen to one topic. But at the same time, it was more effort for Jason, and it was hard to do some of the fun stuff for me. Like it was hard to just have one episode of On Your Tabletop content because it felt like the listeners weren't getting everything that they wanted. So I kind of, and I want the episodes to be in depth. I want to give as much information as possible. That's hard to do with one quick episode a week. So we're back doing bi-weekly, and we're going to stay that way for a while, I think.
That works. The editing wasn't that bad.
Right. But
it's one of the things I do as part of my job, so it's easy for me. I have so many shortcuts and little tips, tricks that I have. But
so I'll be hitting you up soon.
Yeah,
I'll be hitting you up for ideas and shortcuts. So
nice.
I teach audio editing.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what you did. That's awesome.
Yeah, I won't go into it, but yeah, I do this stuff all the time. This is, I actually use some of the stuff that we do for other things. So
cool.
Like experiments, I'll do experimental stuff with the podcast because notice. Well, if I do it right, they won't notice. But if I make a mistake, we'll all know. And so, yeah, there have been a couple of things I've used in here that, like, I go to my students, like, all right, try this and this and this, and so.
That's neat.
Yeah, so it's been great having you on, Jason. I really appreciate everything that you do for us.
Well, I've been having a lot of fun. I mean, I don't get to game as much anymore since I've moved, and so this keeps me in the lore while I do a lot of hobby stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're still in
wanting to play.
Yeah.
No, I'm still very much in it.
Right.
I'm just not throwing dice as much.
Yeah. Well, okay,
that'll happen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, dude. All right, so why don't we take a break? Thank you, listeners, for sticking with us for the 3 years and 100 episodes.
Adam,
yeah,
didn't you have any plans for future podcast talk, or was that just like,
No, I'm
don't
just
we
saying,
have a future?
We're just gonna keep on doing the bi-weekly episodes. We're gonna keep on doing, being lore focused, and we're still gonna keep on kind of focusing on taking that lore and putting it in your games. And I don't care if one person out of our 5,000 to 7,000 downloads plays our missions or plays with our content. It's worth it to me because it's fun. It's what I want to do. So we'll keep it going.
I'm going to keep spoiling Horse Heresy books. Yay!
Nice.
All right, cool. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to have a retrospective where we're going to talk about some of the retro topics of the ancient 40K lore, and I'm going to have a lot of fun talking about this stuff because it is bonkers.
Hello, everyone. The Masters of the Forge is now a proud member of the NPC, the Narrative Podcast Consortium. Our aim is to inspire your hobby through the rich lore of the 41st millennium. If you enjoy our podcast, then make sure to check out these other awesome shows where you can get coverage on campaigns, Black Library, and all kinds of general topics of the 40K background.
The NGC 40K podcast also provides in-depth campaign coverage, audio dramas, and free-flowing narrative campaign creation.
The Adeptus Terra podcast also features in-depth discussions of the lore and commentary on the hobby.
Oh, and sexy English voices.
Oh, yeah.
The Masters of the Forge brings the world of 40K to life on your tabletop, with discussion on the lore, backed up by narrative-themed rules and battle reports.
Of course, this is only a fraction of the topics covered by the podcasts of the NPC. Please tune in to find out more.
Do you play more than one mini war game? Or do you like listening to shows which discuss other games and pan hobby topics? Combat Phase is a weekly podcast covering the whole hobby for gamers. We also interview a lot of Black Library authors. Join Kenny and Robert as they try to grow the hobby. Combat Phase, the best part of the game, is on iTunes and www.combatphase.com. Hey everybody, check out Veterans of the Long War, a Warhammer 40K podcast on iTunes and on Facebook. We are a 40K podcast based out of Western Massachusetts with contributors from other parts of New England. We talk hobby, tactics, news, and rumors, check out new releases, and talk about our local and regional 40K scene. We're looking for new contributors, so get in touch if you want to be a part. Check us out on iTunes and Facebook. That's Veterans of the Long War, a Warhammer 40K podcast.
Welcome back. All right, so this segment is dedicated to the League of Daves from the Astronomicon tournament. I had so much fun this year at Astronomicon. I'm so sad that I can't make it to the next one. My family is going to Disney, and I can't do another big trip so soon. So, but Jim, I know it's like 2,000 miles away or something, but Astronomicon is definitely something that you would love. I guarantee it. It is right.
Oh, I'm certain of it. I've seen reports from there over the years and
over the decades almost, right? Like it's been
probably. It's probably been a couple of decades.
Yeah, it's a staple up there, and it is so great. So I'm gonna start us off with a topic, ambles. Apparently, okay. When I said that I didn't know what an amble is at one of the dinners, I feel like I had scandalized these delightful human beings that I would not know what an amble is. I wonder. We're just gonna go ahead and read. We're gonna go ahead and read the old Rogue Trader lore for ambles. Jim, do you want to do the honors of this giant paragraph that they have here?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. You mean this giant wall of text? I love the old books. Their editing sucked so bad. And it was all done on typewriters too, right?
Oh, probably.
Way back here.
Jesus.
They were still typing it all out.
Hey, look, it's justified text. Look, it's justified on the side.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Okay, nonetheless, let's talk about the creature of the moment, the amble. Ambles originated from the dangerously hot polar rock deserts. Get that?
Right. I wonder if I'm going to stop you already, even though you're mid sentence. I wonder if the rock desert, like the polar region of Luther McIntyre 9 is facing the sun and it spins like sideways.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that.
Right. Or it's so hot that the polar regions are the garden spot of Luther McIntyre 9. One of those two. Anyways, go ahead, buddy.
Right. So the dangerously hot polar rock deserts of Luther McIntyre 9. They survive extremely hot temperatures for long periods, a factor which has led to attempts at domesticating them on several desert planets.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, right. As a consequence, ambles can be found on many planets throughout human space. Ambles have huge barrel-chested bodies and an ape-like stance. By the way, I have an amble model. This is one ugly mofo. 2 arms that reach almost the end in iron-hard claws.
You skipped a line.
Oh, geez, did I? Oh, my God.
Well, it's not your fault. The text is justified, for God's sake.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, now, hold on. Let me move my cursor so I can read this. Ambles have huge barrel-chested bodies and an ape-like stance. 2 arms reach almost to the ground, whilst 2 legs are crooked and short. Both arms and legs end in iron-hard claws used to tunnel through the soft stone that covers their native planet. Ambles will excavate tunnels in which to live, spending much of their time underground, sheltering from the direct heat of the sun. This subterranean lifestyle is shared with many of Luther McIntyre's inhabitants, including the Amble's favorite food, the crawler. Ambles will pursue crawlers and their prey through the soft rock by tunneling at considerable speed. The amble's huge expandable claws are then used to grab and yank the food from the loose rubble. These jaws make the creature look extremely ferocious and are its most characteristic feature. The amble's eyes are adapted to sense heat, giving infravision at all ranges.
Ooh, infravision.
The creature's infravision, yes, that was a thing back in Rogue Trader. The creatures live in family groups, often occupying the same tunnel system for years on end, slowly excavating vast underground networks many miles long. While specially evolved to live below the surface, they adapt well to most environments, and we will eat all manner of living creatures.
These guys are awesome. They're really cool. I've been looking at the miniatures. I've seen them. I saw the miniatures at Astronomicon actually. I didn't actually get to play the Hammer and Amble mission, but
that's awesome.
I saw the board for his big desert board, and it had I don't know, like 8 to 10 Amble miniatures being used as part of the mission.
That's crazy.
So I really love this this creature, and there's another little piece of lore. It must be under the actual description of this other creature. There's like this onyx dragon or something like that eats the ambuls, and its teeth are really, 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 really hard and really, really sharp because it eats ambuls. And I guess those teeth were used to make Gorechild and Gorefather. The
this is true.
That is really awesome. I love these little tidbits of information because even if it seems like a silly piece of the old lore, it's often attached to other more significant parts of the lore, and you can learn so many fun things about it. So I kind of wanted to discuss this Hammer and Amble mission just to kind of give folks an idea of the kind of missions that you get at Astronomicon. Okay. So, I'm just going to read off a little bit about it. I'm not going to go into the, too nitty gritty detail, but, the overview is as the sun bakes down like a hammer on their heads, enemy forces face off against each other at the site of this now ruined and abandoned research facility. Where did the research team disappear to? What has caused this destruction? As the forces ready their weapons and move to engage, a rumbling shakes the earth and something tunnels up from below. Ambles. So this is great because you set up your army like normal. It's kind of the standard Dawn of War deployment. However, I think there's a missed opportunity here. It probably should have been Hammer and Anvil deployment.
Right.
But maybe the balance for the mission was more important than just really committing to the pun. So I appreciate that. So that everybody sets up their army, but the Ambles enter play and take the first turn. So I thought that was really, so the Ambles get an opportunity to kind of go first, which is really cool. Let me see. There's a second page for the Amble special rules. Treat Ambles as a third force which takes its own turn before either of the players, called the Amble turn. Each Amble operates as an independent unit. At the start of the game, there are no Ambles in play. Follow the steps below for each Amble model. Keep a tally of each Amble that is destroyed for the associated mission objective. So at the start of the Amble turn, roll a d6 for each Amble that is not on the table. On a roll of 4+, the Amble enters play, burrowing up from the underground, from the center of the table. The Ambles always scatters 6d6 inches, but a hit is rolled on the scatter dice. Use each small arrow for the scatter direction. So it's standard kind of artillery scattering. Should the Amble scatter onto another model, it will perform the subterranean assault during the assault phase. During the movement phase for the Amble turn, Ambles that did not enter play this turn and are not engaged will move 6 inches towards the nearest non-Amble model. Ambles are affected by difficult and dangerous terrain as normal. Shooting Ambles did not enter play this turn if there are no enemy units within 12 inches of an Amble and it burrows back underground. Remove the Amble from play and place it back in the Amble reserves. Assault. During the assault phase of the Amble turn, any Amble that did not enter play this turn will assault the nearest non-Amble within 12 inches and in line of sight. Ambles are affected by difficult and dangerous terrain as normal. Should the Amble be locked into combat with multiple units, the Amble will attack a random unit. So, clearly a lot of these rules are, 5th, 6th, 7th edition holdover rules. But the cool thing is, the Ambles pop up in the middle of the battlefield, kind of. You can either deal with that, or you can try to skirt around, which is going to be tough because if you're going to be playing any orc player or Tyranid player worth their salt, they're going to be charging right down your throat. They won't care if they're going to be. They're not going to care about fighting some Ambles. They're not going to care. Also, I forgot about I should read the subterranean assault rule. Any models contacted by the Amble where it enters play are moved to make way and count as being assaulted. Ambles will strike on initiative 10 in close combat on the turn they enter play. Units affected by subterranean assault cannot fire Overwatch. So I think that 8th edition clearly they're going to go first anyways, regardless if they assault.
Right.
But they're just automatically tied up, which is really cool, which is going to be great for anybody who's playing like a tank or something, like the Ambul's just going to block its way, which makes sense. Right. Ambuls are these big, huge, hulking monstrosities, you know?
Right.
What do you guys think?
These rules would be easy to tweak to 8th edition.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. This mission is almost like ready to go. Now, what do you guys think for custom, what do you call them? Stratagems for this mission? Because I think there are a few. Like, what if for like one command point you could actually take control of an Ambul and actually use it as part of your army for a turn?
Might be interesting,
right? I don't think they're too overpowered. They're like weapon skill 5, strength 5, T5, wounds 2. I think I would buff the wounds a little bit for 8th edition, maybe 4 or 5 wounds.
I'd buff their attacks too.
Yeah, because they have 2 attack. Yeah, I'd buff their attacks
2 attack. As well. They'd have at least 4, I think.
Yeah, and
if I did them,
maybe a rend of 1, or sorry, AP of 1 with their or give them like -2 rend if they wound on a 6.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That sounds.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
You don't want to make them be an auto killer, but you want them to be tough.
Right, and with a strength of 5, that gives them a chance to. Yeah. They'll still wound toughness 8 on a 5, which is cool. So I think that works out really nicely, and they'll actually work against Marines, but not overly so.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is a lot of fun. Maybe a command point to like after the Ambul rolls the scatter direction. Of course, Astronomicon will have to put a scatter dice on the table along with the old Ambul models. So folks,
yeah, along with the miniatures.
Yep. But I think that's still the right way to go with these guys. I think randomly determining the direction that they go in is. Now, what they did with the narrative missions in the 40K book is the players rolled off to determine who gets control of miniatures, like in the ambush mission or the rescue mission. Like the sentries are randomly determined, but I think in an event situation, I think that's very time consuming. So I think using a stratagem to gain control of the Ambuls works a little bit better, and using the scatter dice works a little bit better, in my opinion.
Sure.
But yeah, like maybe after determining the direction, you can like spend a command point to add distance to like give the Ambul a boost in speed or something if you see the Ambul going towards your opponent.
Right. So strategy giving him a boost to speed or an extra dice for his charge or something. Yeah.
Right.
That could be cool.
But one of the secondary objectives is +1 VP. Oh, +2 VP if you have killed more Ambuls than your opponent. So maybe you'll take that risk and boost the speed if the scatter dice comes towards you and you're like, I'm gonna kill an Ambul. But
that's true.
But you're taking the risk of the Ambul tearing through your lines and beating you up.
Too funny. It's a real gamble to play, right?
Right. I love this mission, and I think the idea that you have like 10 Ambuls always in reserve waiting to come up, like they just keep on filtering in and attacking the enemy I think that's really cool. Really nice job, Astro guys. That's a Christian and Mike, who do those
very
missions.
Cool.
They did a great job. Some of those missions at Astro have been used for years. I think they even have a Battle at the Farm variant.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Like they. Well, I know they do. They do have a Battle at the Farm scenario. So I think that's awesome.
That's going all the way back, just like the Ambuls. That was in the Rogue Trader book.
Wasn't that a mission from the Armageddon War?
What?
The Battle at the Farm.
No, that's a mission from Rin's World, from the actual Rogue Trader book.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember just seeing a PDF supplement from GW with a couple of missions. I just didn't remember which one it was from. But yeah, Rin's World was right.
Yeah, I think it was at the 20th anniversary. They released a PDF to fight on Rin's World. So they updated Battle at the Farm.
That's cool, and I think they're gonna do it in White Dwarf, or they already did it in White Dwarf. I haven't picked up the recent White Dwarf yet, but I think that the fans really wanted to see that happen. They were talking about it on the live stream, and they're gonna be redoing Battle at the Farm for White Dwarf very soon.
Oh, that's wicked! I'm actually going to be redoing Battle at the Farm with my buddy Kevin, using Rogue Trader Marines and Rogue Trader Orc.
That is so cool. Nice.
I'm painting Crimson Fists right now for Rogue Trader Crimson Fists. Plastic beakies.
Those guys are so awesome. Yes.
Yeah, I have just enough to do Battle of the Farm.
That's going to be so
that are
awesome.
Unpainted, they're not painted as Space Hulk. So they're uncommitted to something else.
That is awesome. Be sure to let us know how that goes. Be sure to post pictures and stuff, because that's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, you'll see it.
So, who wants to cover Doom Rider? Does anybody have a good working knowledge of Doom Rider? Because the Rogue Trader, the text I could find for Rogue Trader didn't really contain a whole lot of lore. I know he's a demon prince. Like, it's not just that he's a demon prince, but like him, his bike, his helmet, his glove, his gun.
He is a demon. Everything about him is a demon.
Right, exactly. Like, it's not like he gets off the bike and like saunters into the pub. No, he is like, his entire being is.
No, he drives the bike into the pub. And then the skull on the front of the bike drinks the beer.
This was an actual model back then, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have. Yeah. Oh yeah. I have the ugly model.
I think
too.
he was still a part of the Games Workshop in 5th edition, I think.
Oh, okay.
So you could at least in 5th edition you could still get a model for him at the store.
I know. You could still get a model. I don't think he's had rules since maybe the very first 3rd edition codex.
3rd edition codex,
maybe.
I think, yeah. But there's a problem with him going to the bar though. He leaves a trail of flames behind him, so he can't go to.
I don't think he sees that as a problem. Do you think Doom Rider cares?
Probably not.
He's busy drinking beer and snorting warp dust. What do you want?
Yeah, I think his field of has gone to salt. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure that Games Workshop killed that model because they would never be able to live down the whole 90% demon, 10% cocaine thing.
Yeah,
dude, he flies,
and that was fan service too. That was never a thing. The fans just ran with that in like 3rd edition. It went absolutely nuts.
Dude, he flies and his bolters shoot pure warp energy. How rad is that?
And he snorts cocaine.
Cocaine! Oh, I love Pam. Pam is the best. She's my favorite character. So yeah, Doom Rider. I really, again, I would love to see like a quick supplement or a short mini game with the release of biker multi-build kits for Chaos, Orcs, Space Marines, and Eldar. And all the other factions that have bikes. It would be really awesome to see some kind of fun multi-part kit for all those, and actually have a Doom Rider variant for the Chaos, because Chaos bikes need an upgrade. They really do. Orc big mechs need an upgrade. Space Marine bikes, clearly we're missing those in the new codex. Those need an upgrade, and I think it would be really cool to see like a kind of multi-build kit for biker characters. And Doom Rider is an opportunity that is just this low-hanging fruit, just like my underpants right now. It's just super low-hanging fruit that GW can pick up and work with.
You want GW to pick up what's in your underpants? Adam?
And work with it.
And work. Just don't neglect it. Don't neglect it.
I mean, what did you do to get those free sample codex things sent to you? I'm just asking here.
I mean, moving on. Zotes. Totes mazotes. Jason has a beautiful voice. Would you like to read the lore on Zotes, Jason? Again, this is all Rogue Trader. So this is
so confusing, unlike Tyranids. Let's just say that.
Yeah, this is a very, and not only that, before you go on, I have noticed that there is recent lore on the Zotes in Warhammer Fantasy. Or better, Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Really?
Yes, from Forge World. Forge World are doing Zotes, and they're doing Famir again. The last time
I know they're doing Famir. I didn't know they were doing Zotes.
Yeah, Zotes are there are actual new rules for Zotes for Age of Sigmar. Yeah, it's very interesting. And if we're gonna get a bunch of models, how cool would that be to add a bunch of Zote models to your Tyranid army? That would be super cool.
Because I have 18 Zotes.
No kidding.
Fantasy Zotes. They're fantasy Zotes.
But yeah,
I have one 40k Zote.
Yeah,
but I have 18 fantasy Zotes.
I can't tell you what book it's in right off the top of my head, but go ahead and do a cursory search. I'm sure you
I'll
can
do a
find
search.
it. Yeah, I'm sure you can. And
oh
Famir,
my goodness!
I want to pick up the Famir models for my dungeon hero quest. For my hero quest.
I have some metal Famir models.
No kidding. We might need to do it. Might need to make a deal there. No, I'm sure you want to hold on to that stuff.
No. I don't have enough Famir to build an army, so I'm not going to keep them. So we'll make a deal because they're actually already in one of the purge boxes.
Oh, okay, I will. Legit.
I'll make a deal with you.
Yeah, I'll legit paint them.
I'll legit make a deal with you. We'll get you the Famir that I've got.
Awesome, because I will paint them, and they will be used by children in games. So
yeah, I even have a rare Famir sorcerer or witch doctor or whatever they were.
Dude, yeah. My buddies and their kids would be so excited. That'll be so fun.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Zotes. Zotes.
All right, Zotes. Zotes are the most common of all the Tyranids' many specially engineered slave races.
It starts off right off the bat.
It's like, come on, Tyranids eat everything. They don't care about anything other than food, and, invade a couple of wars for more food.
Yeah, it's
slave races? Heresy!
Just while you guys were talking, I was like, wow, man, the Nid lore has changed. All right.
The Nid models have changed too.
Yeah. All right, so let me see if I can get through one more sentence. Other slave races are little more than animals. It's a protoplasm dedicated to cleaning and maintaining the hive fleets of which they are a part.
Every sentence. Okay, Jason, I'm just warning you. Every sentence in this is heresy. Just letting you know. So just go ahead. Keep going.
So here we go. Even the hulking spacecraft that compose the hive fleets are in a sense races, as they are grown and nurtured from a common, albeit much modified, biological stock.
Void whales.
Yeah. All right.
But that's already known.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Battlefleet Gothic lore, so that's okay. That's Tyranids.
Yeah. Spacecraft are mindless monstrosities, and the vast majority of other slave races are so dedicated to a single purpose, it would be inappropriate to think of them as creatures. Zotes, on the other hand, are completely independent living creatures, much like their masters. They get eaten? I don't know. Anyway, the xenobiologers, that's a horrible word, of the Innistratum were created purely for combat. Tyranids, being creatures of space, suffer discomfort if they spend too long on a planet. Okay. No. That's where I'm going to start the arguments right there.
So I feel like
Jason?
Yeah, go ahead, just Snorre.
Jason, I didn't want to stop you earlier, but there was talk about the Zotes being completely independent, much like their masters. Since when was the Tyranids independent? The only thing that's independent there is the hive mind, and we don't really know what the hive mind is, so we can't really draw that conclusion.
Yeah.
WTF, okay?
It's amazing how the lore has changed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where are we? Sorry, I'm still getting over the suffer discomfort if they spend too long on a planet. However, are stocky animals that feel quite at home in a wide variety of atmospheric and gravitational conditions.
Okay, here it comes.
Like Tyranids.
Say it.
Centauroid.
Centaurs. They're centauroid, much like Tyranids.
Okay. Sure, man.
Now, that word is a little weird for the listeners. For the listeners, they're saying that Zotes are centaurs, which you look at the picture, they are. But the part that makes our brains break is the like Tyranids part.
Yeah.
But if you look at the old models,
when was the last time you saw a half gene stealer, half horse thing?
Yeah, if you look at the old models, though, a lot of the Tyranid models were kind of centaur-like.
The really old Termagants were centaur, basically. Bug centaurs, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so their two rear sets of limbs are heavily built and muscular, providing the creature with its means of locomotion.
And so they can latch on. What?
Yeah.
Keep going.
Limbs are manipulative organs of great strength. Yeah, I'm ignoring you. And are used to wield a variety of weapons. Unlike Nids, Zotes will eat anything. Wait, what? Come on, man.
Since when were the Tyranids picky about their food?
Anything but metal, and even then it's like, no, we'll get this through. It'll pass. It'll
pass. It's like eating cheese.
Yeah, sure, man. It's like fiber.
Yeah.
Ooh, like cheese. Well, very nice. We both went there. All right. Although they largely subsist on a daily diet of 3 reconstituted protein-based woven biscuits called
Zodibix. Zodibix. There's like a little a package. It's like, try new Zodibix. Jason, we need to do a Zodibix commercial for the Sons of Heresy.
Okay.
This week.
We need to do that.
Okay.
Right.
Well, noted. All right.
Zoot.
Noted. All right. So Zotes are common hive fleet inhabitants, often equaling the number of Tyranids themselves. Whatever.
I guess we know how Tyranids survive while they're in space.
Yeah.
There's a second page.
They bring their food along.
There's more. There's more.
Next page.
There's more.
Thanks, Adam. All right. Although they are a slave race, Zotes occupy important positions throughout the hive fleets, and individual Zotes can gain great power. Rebellion from Tyranid control is not unknown, but is extremely rare. This is because Tyranids... Oh, come on.
Well, this I believe.
Okay.
This I believe, actually.
All right. This is because Tyranids secrete a special slave hormone, which suppresses the Zote's natural sense of independence. However, renegade Zotes do exist throughout the universe, where they have broken away from the hive fleets or have become lost during scouting or exploration missions. This is painful.
Jason, I think what Games Workshop was trying to say there is that you find Zotes in warp space, because Zotes do exist throughout the Unverse.
Oh, the Unverse.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, that's not misspelled? Or is it misspelled?
It's probably misspelled.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to be...
Because I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you were...
I'm trying to be conspiratorial here.
I mean, you never know, right? The Unverse could be a thing.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, I just saw it.
All right. Keep going.
Not the only misspelled word in that book.
All right, we're going to forge ahead. So... Without the inhibiting influence of the Tyranid slave hormone, Zotes are able to develop strong psychic powers, and then will join the Tau with their, psychic bears. The path of independent Zote civilization is incredibly diverse, with small groups isolated from each other on widely scattered planets.
So the Zotes seem to be a very important part of this old lore. Like, they actually have Zotes with
there's a champion?
The champions, heroes. Yeah, minor hero, major hero. So like big like major characters, like independent character level characters. Like we could come up with fun rules for these, and there's a template for this. They're pretty quick, and it's funny because Rogue Trader rules mirrors 8th edition rules very well because they all have movement characteristics and stuff, and it's easy to, like, they have a weapon skill of 5, ballistic skill of 3, strength of 4, so they're like Space Marine strength, toughness of 5 because they're beasts, 3 wounds.
But at the time, hold on, interesting fact, at the time, a Space Marine was only toughness 3.
Oh, so these guys should probably be T6.
They were tough.
T6.
Yeah, wounds
back
3.
In Rogue Trader, in Rogue Trader, Space Marines were only toughness 3.
Like, I would probably do these guys in units of 3, probably with like 4 wounds or 5 wounds each. Initiative 5, so they're meant to be fast, so I might bump their movement up to 8 so that they can compete with Eldar and stuff. Leadership 10, so they're very, I mean, I might drop their leadership a little bit if they're not paired with Tyranids. I would probably, I mean, even though the old lore is a little silly, maybe there is something to them being kind of a part of the whole what do you call it, the Tyranid, the human Tyranids, what are they called,
Gene Stealers?
Like they could be part of the Gene Stealer zeitgeist, and we could make these, like, they could have either have the Tyranid keyword or not have the Tyranid keyword if they want to. I think that would be fun. And then again, you'd have your champion and your heroes and stuff, which are even bigger, and they're bigger and they're stronger, and they like the weapon skill goes up to 8 for their major hero. Like they're bad. To the point where if you wanted to get crazy with it, you could have a psyker in there. Like they have all kinds of, it says Zotes of the High Fleets are never psychic though, because they're meant to be slaves and stuff. So like your independent Zote armies would be psychers. We do have mention of Zotes throughout the lore. Like we just had an episode on the Iron Warriors, and one of the Iron Warriors' claim to fame was the putting down of a Zote invasion, which was always seen as something that was super insurmountable in the past, right?
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, so I think there's room for Zotes in the current 40k lore, but they were put down in the Great Crusade almost to a man, I'd say. Like, so if you do come up with your own lore, it will have to be something like a re-emergence, either as part of a splinter fleet that also fell out of favor, or just like a hidden enclave of Zotes that have been hiding from the Imperium and are just coming back because the Imperium is on its back foot, right? Because
way out on the eastern fringe.
Right, like the Zotes could be something that you could add to a campaign that takes place on the other side of the Cicatrix Maledictum, right? Like they're like, we're taking this opportunity now, right? So it could be fun if you've got Zote models. I would definitely bump them up a little bit from what they have here, especially since you probably don't have a lot of Zote models, so you're gonna want to have them be pretty powerful. So that's fun. Has anybody ever played with Zotes, like, in the game at all? No.
I started in 5th edition, so definitely no.
No.
Yes, I had a friend who was obsessed with Zotes.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was writing lore and corresponding with Rick Priestley about it. Literally back and forth.
Whoa.
Snail mail back and forth to England.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, this guy was nuts about Zotes. Oh my goodness.
A lot of people...
He was crazy about them.
There's, just like the Gene Stealer cults, and, I think there is a great deal of people who still love the Zotes and still want to see them. You see it all the time. Like even when there's talk about, every time that there's talk about, say, the squats, there's always someone that jumps in and says "Zotes!" ! And that's it. That's all they say. And there are still people who really want to see this, and I don't think it would be terrible. Certainly the lore would have to change. Even if the Tyranids back then did have some kind of Zote connection, they don't anymore. I think it would.
No, you could completely separate them. You could completely separate them now as a separate race.
The Zotes haven't been written out; they're just not around. And just like the Squats, they're still a part of our past. But
they're back. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
Andy Hort pointed out they came back in 6th.
Mm-hmm.
That they're still around. They weren't all eaten. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. It would be nice to see kind of, again, back in 6th we were talking about with the reemergence of allies. It would be nice to see a little splinter of something that we can use in our armies for this kind of fun narrative.
Can you imagine what a Zote would look like with modern sculpting technique?
Oh my god. Can you imagine what it would look like with like power armor on? It would be that would be just horrifying. It would be like Ogre Kingdoms. It would be just this very elite army of total badasses.
Well, think about how cool the fantasy dragon ogres are.
Oh my god, they're so cool.
Then you take that, crank it up to 11 sci-fi, and you've got a Zote.
Put frickin' lasers and missiles on its back.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh,
that could be so awesome.
And Matt, okay, so this is okay. Imagine this quadrupedal power armored badass with lasers on its back, or like off its flanks, and riding it in all its glory is a power armored space dwarf shooting plasma pistols. Are you guys not on board with this? Because I feel like it's something we need in our lives.
Wow. You are
I'll
awesome.
Just letting you run with it, man. Sometimes
wow.
Keep going and just
like they would have to sculpt a shark, a resin shark for it to jump. That's all there is to it.
Well, if we're going for that, let's just get a Sharknado as well.
Yes.
I want to skip some of these topics and move on to Ilian Nastase. Ilian Nastase is one of the most, I would say, he's one of the most popular characters from Rogue Trader just because of the audacity of him. First of all, Ilian Nastase won several tennis Grand Slam singles in the 70s. When I did a search, this tennis player whose name is almost identical came up in the search. Apparently, someone in Games Workshop back in the day had a love for tennis and named this guy after this tennis player. Snorre, would you like to do the honors for Ilian Nastase? Snorre? Did we lose Snorre?
Hello?
Snorre, he's back. Snorre, would you like to do the honors and read the lore on Ilian Nastase?
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure I was here all the time, but I guess I wasn't. Ilian was born to a human mother on the world of Badab following the expulsion of the tyrant there in 912 of this millennium. His father was an unknown Eldar mercenary. The youngster was gene-tested at birth in accordance with the law and subsequently taken into imperial custody, where he was found to be... he was reared in the government compound by the Imperial Mission, which took over the running of Badab after the war. And, well, since he was the child of an unknown Eldar who's probably really famous and suddenly got resurrected from the dead, he was a psychic.
Yes. Yeah, that's some very good assumption there, Snorre. You're probably right. What a rapscallion.
Yeah. Along with other potential psychics, he undertook the journey to Earth in 924, where further tests led to the eventual soul binding in 925.
What's that, you guys? What's soul binding?
Yeah, what is soul binding?
That is, I think that's when the psychics are shown the Emperor's light or something and kind of stares out their eyes and binds them to his thing, isn't it? Jim,
yeah,
you can confirm
he's
this.
an astropath, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's what they do
this.
to astropaths. Remember, he's not just a librarian, he's an astropath.
Right, and so that's what kind of codes them to the Astronomicon so they can get
I think it's something like that, yeah.
Okay.
It's basically, from what I remember from the lore, it's sort of the Emperor kind of bestows a part of his psychic energy into them, enabling them to be even better than what they kind of are already. So, but of course, the process just burns out their eyes and blinds them, which is why all navigators and such are blind.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. From that point, Nastase was recruited into the Administratum as an astropath, and he attained the ranks of Secundus Prefect and eventually rose to hold consulship for 4 years, helping run the Adeptus Terra's Advisory Senate to the Master of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica. Like, but that he gets really far really quick, this guy.
Yeah.
Following this, he undertook 4 years of service with the fleet, a further 2 years with the Dark Angels Marines, and was appointed as chief of the McCragg Interstellar Communications Link under the jurisdiction of the Ultramarines in the year 965.
And the picture of him shows him in Ultramarines power armor.
Yeah, exactly. This is a normal. Well,
and yes, that's the important part, and a lightsaber.
Yeah. This is sort of as normal as you can call an astropath, of course, but it's a non-gene seeded human being in power armor because he's that badass, I guess.
And just to note, Ultramarines has a dash between Ultra and Marines.
Yes.
Yeah. Nastase is now 76 years old, current year of 987. But thanks to his parentage, shows very few signs of this age. So he's basically an Eldar infiltrator bastard.
So, Corbin SB on Facebook said, he wanted to hear about Inquisitor Sherlock Obi-Wan Clouseau, otherwise known as Chief Librarian Ilya Nastase of the Dark Angels.
Oh my god, the first ever named Inquisitor. That's funny.
Okay.
Obi-Wan Clouseau. Oh, jeez.
Oh, wait, he was not referring to Nastase? That's an actual other character?
Oh.
Yes!
Oh my god.
That's another character! Jesus Christ, oh my god, yes, that's another character!
That's a real character?
Yeah. I remember reading about him, but I don't remember where I read about it. Maybe it was on Wikipedia or something.
Oh no. Oh god, so I love this guy. I think it's great. I think, unlike the other things we've talked about today, I think that this bit of lore needs to be completely disregarded. Other stuff you can kind of get in, you can kind of like, okay, we can kind of work this in. This guy has no hope of being worked back into anything, right? Like,
oh no, ever.
Oh no, but
I think that this is a case of what's the first rule of Rogue Trader?
Don't talk
about Rogue Trader. Yeah, it's like what is of the past stays in the past.
So since we brought him up, let me tell you a little bit about the atypical Inquisitor is represented here by the renowned Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau.
No!
A tireless explorer of psychic misdeeds and generic deviance. He wears a suit of skin-tight power armor under a long enveloping cloak. Like most Inquisitors, He disdains the open wearing of his helmet in favor of civilian headwear. Inquisitors tend to be esocentric in their dress, as well as their lifestyles. Under his cloak...
wow. We don't judge on Masters of the Forge, people.
Oh, we don't.
Under his cloak are hidden various energy field devices, a conversion field, a stasis field, a refractor field. Only one can be used at a time, of course. His favored weapon is the bolt pistol, although he also carries a power sword and 3 Jokero digital weapons. Hand flamer, las pistol, needle and needle pistol. He has several grenades secreted about his person, including 2 each of blind, choke, haywire, knockout, 1 of each of crack, plasma, stun, tanglefoot, and he's got a vortex grenade!
Oh my god! How many points is this guy?
He also has a communicator, a bioscanner, energy scanner, nose filters, photochromatic eye drops, an immune injector, infravision contacts, chemicals for the Jokero needler, a porta rack, a rad counter, a stimulant chemical.
I hope this has a portable hole. Because that's the only way he's carrying it.
A applicator, sufficient chemicals for 3 uses, 3 suspensors, no he's got an armory in his cloak, a can of web solvent. As can be seen, Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau is equipped for just about anything. But then he has to be. He's an Inquisitor. Oh, wow. Dear Lord. I forgot about this guy. Sorry. That's it. That's all I got.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. I am so glad we looked that up, because that needs to be burned with fire.
All I can say to this guy is, how could he go to the toilet with so much crap on his uniform?
I know. How can he do?
He's got 2 suspensors just so he can walk around.
So he has eye drops that changes the color of his eyes or something. That's pretty cool.
They're photochromatic.
That is awesome. The Imperium is a beautiful place. So
wow.
We have a few more topics. 2 that I don't think I want to deal with right now because I didn't do any notes for them. Plus, I think they open up a can of worms. One is the Void Dragon, which that's a huge can of worms.
Can of worms.
Yeah. Doom of Malantine. Doom of Malantine just is a big topic, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Though
I think a certain podcast did a whole show just about the Doom.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yep.
A whole episode.
I think that would be right.
And I think you guys did an episode on the Void Dragon as well. If I recall correctly, at least you talked about it at great length.
It was definitely talked about in one episode. I don't think we did the whole.
A lot, off and on over the years.
Right.
Yeah.
A certain someone that will never be named had a hard-on for it.
Right. So. Okay. So there's a couple ideas that were floated, and I'm glad that I posted this topic because folks gave us an idea of the kind of things they wanted us to talk about. Necromunda. We definitely should talk about Necromunda because not only do we have the new book coming out, the new game coming out, well, the new version of the game coming out, but I think the planet itself is very interesting. Folks also want to hear about Armageddon, and especially with a lot of the new lore, I think it's inevitable that we're going to talk about Armageddon, but I'm not going to talk about Armageddon until we get a new campaign book, which I would put hard cash that we're going to get a campaign book soon. Catechin was floated, and the Catechin Devil, so I think that's a fun topic. We've talked about the Catechin Devil before, but I think talking about Catechin again would be fun, and also doing maybe a little campaign there. Tyrannid narratives, like writing narratives for your Tyranids, and also Caradron Overlords as squats would be a fun episode. Again, that's one I might hold off on because who knows what's coming up in the future.
Yep.
Tyranid narrative. We ate everything. The end.
I think, talking about personalizing your hive fleet, talking about that kind of thing would be fun. But yes, it reads like a menu of the Imperium. Let's close off the episode with a discussion on the Star Child, shall we? This is another topic that people have it super hard on for. And it's rooted in old lore, but it keeps turning up like a bad penny, right? Like, it was featured in Realms of Chaos, Slaves to Darkness, which is an old book from the 80s, and also The Inquisition War by Ian Watson from the 2000s. So
yes. 90s.
90s. Okay, do you guys want to give us a run? Jim, do you want to give us kind of a rundown of like the Star Child myth and the Illuminati?
Oh, jeez. There's so much about it, and it's been written and rewritten and rewritten, and then finally dropped.
And it's changed multiple times, and they're like, you know what?
The Illuminati are like these. It's not like the Illuminati today, where everybody says, "Oh, Illuminati, they're the evil guys."
But
these guys
they're
are
more
like
the Illuminators. They're bringing things to light, or whatever.
Yes, bringing things to light. They tackle demons. They're supposedly they protect the sensei, which are supposedly the sons of the emperor, the real sons, the biological, the bomb chickawawa sons. He put on a little Marvin Gaye and got it on. Sorry, I couldn't resist. But
it's just old and weird, right? Like it contradicts a lot of weird. It contradicts a lot of.
I mean, bottom line, they imply that if the emperor ever dies, he will return as the Star Child.
Right. And
I mean, that's just the bottom line of it all.
Yeah.
That they should unplug the Golden Throne and let him be reborn.
Right. And there are multiple
factions. Because humanity won't die.
There's multiple factions in the Illuminati too. Some want to do it now. They want to just unplug him now and execute or sacrifice all of these sensei. And like the wording is problematic too. It's very like 90s.
Yes,
we're going to use these weird words and not care about who it.
We're going to make up words that nobody understands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some bizarre flip. And it's been years since I read the Inquisition books. I have all three of them. I've been actually debating rereading them for a while because I actually like them, although a lot of people said they're hard to get through. I enjoyed them. Maybe it's because it's one of my first novelizations of the 40K universe.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's been at least a decade since I read them, so maybe I'm just nostalgizing the books.
Yeah,
they're probably crap.
I'm with you. A lot of I'm like my first big fandom was Stephen King's books and stuff. So a lot of people say how bad his stuff is. I'm like, I love this stuff, and right. I have a love for, as an adult now, I have a love for stories that end in kind of this kind of these unrequited storylines that you don't always get with Stephen King. You don't always tie everything up in a nice bow, and I love that. But a lot of people hate it when books end like that, when the anti-climax and
yeah,
without a resolution. And I understand, I get it, but certain things when you're a kid, you get that nostalgia and you just love it and you don't care. You know?
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I get it. There was a story, and I want to say it was in the Inquisitor rulebook, about a rogue inquisitor that had snuck into the Golden Throne because he was going to unplug the Emperor. And they came in and killed him. because he wanted the emperor to come back as a Star Child. They didn't get heavily into it, but it was this story. I'll have to find it. If I find it, I'll get it to you for the next time we talk about it.
All right, cool.
I'm sure that this will come up at some point in time again.
Yeah, and I think...
Besides, we have 30 years of 40K come next month.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's literally been 30 years. So let me dig through my books, and maybe we can do a little thing in October or something, or the end of next month.
That would be awesome. And
30 years of 40K.
I wonder what they have planned. I still, in my mind, I'm still looking at those Caradron Overlords models, and I'm like, dude, this is a missed opportunity if you don't do it, because the models are there. They've been under our noses for months, and just write a codex. The models exist.
Well, it wouldn't actually be, since they were all done in CAD on the computer, it wouldn't be hard.
No.
To turn those models and still create a squat line that looks similar.
Just do 2 kits. One, some kind of
arm upgrades. Arm upgrade.
Yeah, land-based transport of some kind, I'm sorry, Rhino and Land Raider upgrades.
Yeah.
And
then arm upgrades for the regular dudes.
Yep, and the other kit would just be like bikers, just some awesome biker dudes, some awesome Caradron squat biker dudes, and I would just be, all the rest of the models are perfect. I think maybe Terminator armor, but I think the Caradron have equivalents that would work just fine. But anyways, that's the kind of thing that I like to see. This was a lot of fun. These were great topics, you guys. Do you guys have anything else that you think we should talk about that we've missed?
Well, we got the Inquisitor that I was going to mention either way. So you mentioned that, so I had to look him up. Jeez. It's just, I'm so glad that 40K has gone on all the years that it has, and that they've rounded the fluff out, the lore, the fluff, the background. They've rounded it all out in better ways. Because let's just be honest. They were grabbing at straws when they did Rogue Trader and every other sci-fi genre out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see Dune in it. You can see, you can see all those big properties in it, and it's now grown into something of its own.
Right.
Which is incredibly gratifying to have watched the entire cycle of 40K growing up.
Yeah, the lore is rich and wonderful, and of course we're gonna have these funny, something this old and this detailed. You're gonna have this old funny stuff pop up, and it's fun to talk about, and it's fun to, but we can't demand all of this stuff return. It's not necessary. Yeah. We don't have to call it canon, though. Just. It's all parts. It's all a part of the history, and it's fun to talk about.
Sure.
And it's
well, and Ambulling still exists.
Yeah.
Because they've talked about them in different books over the years and all that. They still exist. So this lore, while still maybe a bit campy, and Zotes are a thing. So they still exist. They don't necessarily have to be on the table.
No.
In an official way.
No, but
you could totally make them fit.
Yeah, in your games, why not? I mean, look at that Astronomicon scenario. It's perfect. That is great.
Yeah.
That is great. If you
in fact, now I'm going to eyeball models to use as ambles.
Nice. Oh, Umber Hulks. They look like Umber Hulks.
Umber Hulks, yes.
You can get plastic Umber Hulks. Absolutely. All right, guys.
Really? Plastic one?
Yeah, from the D&D miniatures game.
Ooh, okay. We'll have to talk about some conversions here.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and close out the show.
Come here, boy. Get the ball. Come on, Max. Get the ball. Mom, Max won't get the ball. He's lazy.
I think I know why your Zote is being lazy, Jenny.
Why, Mom?
Because you forgot to feed him his Zotabix today.
Oh, no.
Oh yes, Zotobix contains all the nutrients and random animal parts a growing Zote craves. It not only provides our Zote with the energy it needs to play with you and protect our home, but it also keeps its chitinous shell fresh and shiny.
Oh boy, I'd better feed Max's Zotobix.
Yes, you had.
Zotobix is made in part from grade
Max,
A
time for
Astra
dinner.
Militarum post-engagement byproduct and is infused with 112 essential vitamins
No,
and
Max,
minerals
down.
harvested from your Zote's natural habitat, the finest desert deserts.
Ah!
Zotobix is available in any shopping center on worlds where Zotes are allowed or where the Imperium's inexorable influence has not yet reached.
Oi! After an hard day's shopping, I like to head down to the pub and enjoy a good brew with me mates. Shopping humans all day is hard smelly work, so's I likes to top myself up with something nice. Chopper body spray is not just a treat for you, it's a treat for the whole crew. Now available in Green Apple Grunt, All After Dark, and Oops Don't Press That Fragrances. Chopper body spray, don't make me axe you twice.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I want to tell everybody about the Golden Sprue Cup GT, which we have coming up this January 13th through the 14th in East Greenbush, New York, where that is Martin Luther King weekend. So a lot of folks will have an extra day to recover if you want. Everybody was kind of saying, yeah, that would be a really good time. Plus, it helps now that the LVO has been moved up as well. So we are still currently the last GT before the LVO. The first day is the GT qualifier, but the second day we have all kinds of fun stuff planned. You can play in a Shadow War game. I guess we'll probably include Necromunda at that point now, but we'll see. We are going to have an Apocalypse game. You're going to be able to play that if you want to. We're going to have Age of Sigmar if you want to play in that. We're going to have all kinds of friendly events day 2, and even day 1, we're going to have nice, good, narrative style terrain, and we're going to have a nice time, good, Swiss pairing. So, after your first game, if you get smashed, you're still going to have, like-minded individuals in your forthcoming games. So please check it out. That's GoldenSprueCupGT.com and check that out. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming on and being with us. I hope to have you on again real soon. I honestly have no what do we have coming up for our next episode, Jason? I forget.
I have no idea.
We're really organized. Oh, Death Guard. We're probably going to do Death Guard because reasons. I have no idea if we're getting a preview copy still. I mean, we got preview copies for the last one, so I assume we're going to have preview copies for the next ones, and they'll arrive a day before we record. So
Too funny.
That's
Too funny.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But until...
Or the day that you record, right?
Yeah, or the day exactly. But until then,
play the game the way you want to. This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial, International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful
wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.